bank. We'll have the latest information in a live report.
Also in our area, the aftershock of a devastating earthquake in India. More than 6,000 people are believed dead.
Confessed serial killer Joel Rifkin is back in Suffolk County Court. New developments today.
A nightmare for morning commuters on the Metro North. A freight train derails, knocking out service on several lines. We'll have an update for you.
And the best of country music is out in full force in Nashville. We'll tell you who the big winners are in this year's Country Music Association Awards. Those stories plus your AccuWeather forecast.
It's all next on Eyewitness News.
These men are leaving their wives.
He leaves me home alone.
But it's not for another woman.
I started working nights so I could play golf during the day.
Have golf, darts, motorcycles, or other hobbies left you out in the cold?
We fight about it constantly.
On the next Les Brown Show, see how you and your spouse can play nicely.
I'll try to cut back.
How to keep your hubby's hobby from hurting your home life. Watch the next Les Brown Show. Watch the Les Brown Show tomorrow at 10 right here on Channel 7.
As governor, I'm going to cut your taxes.
Here's what editorials say about Christy Todd Whitman's tax plan. A half-baked plan that lacks credibility. Irresponsible. Wildly irresponsible. The plan doesn't measure up. It isn't believable. Voodoo economics. It's a fraud. So ridiculous we doubt she believes it herself. Perpetrated by a desperate candidate whose lack of credentials have become increasingly apparent.
Romance and the appliance, the sculpture of Botero, funky furniture, and an old-fashioned shoemaker. Saturday at 7:30 right here on Channel 7.
Be a wheel watcher.
Tonight at 7:30 right here on Channel 7.
This is Channel 7 Eyewitness News with Tim Fleischer and Edie Tarbox. Bill Evans with the exclusive AccuWeather forecast and the Eyewitness News team. Now, Eyewitness News.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Tim Fleischer.
And I'm Edie Tarbox.
A breaking story.
That tops our news this hour. A very tense scene in Brooklyn where a bank holdup turns into a hostage situation. At least 3 people are being held, and there are at least 3 armed suspects inside the building. That chaotic scene unfolded early this morning at the Chase Manhattan Bank on Carroll and 7th Avenues in Park Slope. And that's where Jay DeDapper joins us live. Jay?
Well, Edie, as you pointed out, this is a botched bank job that has turned into a hostage situation. The Chase Manhattan Bank is just 1 block up from our location here at 7th and Carroll. It was not yet open when 4 gunmen apparently forced their way inside, and as employees arrived for work, took them hostage. It took only minutes for heavily armed special teams to surround the front of the Chase Manhattan Bank just after 8:30 this morning when a passerby spotted something very wrong as he walked by the bank.
I was walking by and 2 ladies was about to go in the bank. As they was going in, the guy grabbed one of them. They was already in there. And I heard her scream, so I ran to the little window and I peeked in. And I saw the guys in there with ski masks on. So I flagged down the first cop I saw, and then he called for backup.
So he ran across the street to another bank.
I went to the chemical bank and told the security guard in there. He said, "What you expect me to do?"
At the same time, an off-duty cop from the 10th precinct was out to get his morning paper.
I didn't see nothing. The only thing I just saw was a lady coming out screaming. I threw her behind the car. And she asked me who I was. I identified myself as an officer.
Cologne called 911. Warren flagged down a passing patrol car, and cops came pouring into the area. Inside, police say 4 robbers are holding 3 bank employees hostage. Negotiations are ongoing. The sticking point, terms of surrender.
And occasionally the line is open, but no response from inside, and they'll speak again. So it's, you know, one of those painstaking, time-consuming situations that we got the time.
Now, police say they're talking to only one of the 4 robbers inside. He is calling himself Sam. They do not have any IDs on any of the people inside, though, so they don't know if that is his real name. Chief Scott describes the situation as calm inside. He said the one guy that is talking is very calm, and everything seems to be okay with the hostages that are being held inside. We're told that one of the hostages is a male security guard. 2 female bank employees are also inside. Again, negotiations continuing, and there is a full slate of police out here with the special forces and all of that. They've got a little robot set up in case they needed to go in. They're hoping that is not necessary. We're live in Park Slope. J.D. Dapper, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
Another story we're closely following is the deadly earthquake in India. 6,200 people have been killed, and that number is continuing to climb. The quake, measuring 6.4 on the Richter scale, was centered in the state of Maharashtra. Its deadly shockwaves coming in the early morning hours as people slept. As a result, there is great concern in various Indian communities locally, such as Jersey City, where Tim Minton is live now with the latest. Tim.
Well, at the Gandhi grocery back here in stores all over this neighborhood, they have been trying to dial it up to get through, and so far it's been impossible. And with TV pictures not yet coming out of the quake area and the phone lines jammed, people here are hungry for any disaster news. When Eyewitness News showed up this morning with a wire service story containing names of devastated villages, we drew a crowd. One woman took the story inside a grocery to read those names to a friend on the phone. On Mahatma Gandhi Plaza, it seems almost everybody knows somebody in the large quake zone.
My sister's father-in-law lives over there. By telephone, I'll get the news.
I'm going to call tonight, today, right now.
You're going to call them now?
Yeah, I'm going to call them, find out what happened, if they got an effect or not. But I have to call,
In a nearby store lined with Indian newspapers whose headlines tomorrow will mourn more than 6,000 dead and thousands more injured across one of India's most populous states, today shoppers wonder just how awful it can be.
I am very much worried for the people affected by the natural calamity.
What, if anything, can you do from here?
Well, from here, only one can try to give whatever small contributions one can give.
Otherwise, pray to God, that everything will really turn out to be better.
Money or pray to God?
What else can you do? Tell me. How else can you help?
Indeed, there really is little else that anybody can do here. The International Red Cross is accepting donations, but because of the vast distance between New York and India, nobody here, including people from the Red Cross, are expected to actually go, just the money to help the relief efforts. And we're live in Jersey City. Tim Minton, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
It is man, not nature, blamed for the deaths of 18 women. Confessed serial killer Joel Rifkin is back in court today, facing 2 more charges of murder. Rifkin was arraigned in Suffolk County Court in connection with the deaths of 2 women whose bodies were found earlier this year. He pleaded not guilty to both murders. Before today's indictment, he'd been charged in only 1 case. One of the teenagers charged with the murder of Robert Solomine Jr. is on the witness stand today. Prosecutors say 19-year-old James Wanger strangled the 17-year-old during a bizarre ritual where he and another friend recited the Hail Mary. 3 other teens have testified they watched Wanger kill Solomine a year and a half ago in Clifton. Wanger testified this morning that he tried to befriend Solomine and wanted him to be a member in his clique.
It was a lover's quarrel, police say, that led to a murder at the precinct. An off-duty New York City police officer shot and killed his girlfriend outside a Nassau County police precinct and then turned the gun on himself. Tappy Phillips picks up the story from there.
It was a gruesome sight, 2 dead bodies lying on the front lawn of Nassau County's 3rd precinct. And more horrible yet, the cause of this was a New York City police officer, 33-year-old Robert Anderson. At Anderson's home tonight, his father was struggling with his emotions.
I'm not in the mood to talk to anybody right now, I'll be honest with you.
A little before 5 this afternoon, police say Anderson chased a woman, 23-year-old Marina Aquino, in his car into the 3rd precinct parking lot. As she dashed for the front door, he chased her, a 9mm gun in his hand. A Nassau County police officer was in the driveway and jumped out of his car when he saw what was happening.
As he approached, the male white that was on the front lawn had the woman fired a shot directly into her head. As she went down, the officer fired on the male white that had shot the woman. Simultaneously, that male white took the gun, placed it to his head and shot himself.
People in the area couldn't believe what was happening.
All we heard were 3 shots, and by the time we got around to the front door, there were about 20 or 30 police officers outside, and I could see the one body laying on the front lawn and then realized that there was another, so it was quite frightening.
Anderson and Aquino died immediately. The Nassau cop was unhurt. Anderson was an 11-year police veteran currently assigned to the 103 precinct in Queens. Aquino worked in the hospital in Syosset. Police say they'd never heard of any trouble between them before.
divorced. They were not married to each other. There doesn't appear to be any history of domestic violence.
Because both parties are dead, police can only guess at a motive now. What kind of a strong emotion would drive a man to such a rage that he would kill a woman on the very steps of a precinct and then take his own life? In Nassau County, Tappy Phillips, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
And investigators are still trying to determine if Anderson used his service revolver in that shooting.
An investigation into a train derailment is going on at this hour. That derailment in the Bronx slowed down the rush hour commute this morning. Crews are working right now to remove a Conrail freight train that jumped the tracks around 2 a.m. Only 2 tracks of the Harlem and New Haven lines were open this morning, and that put a crimp on the morning commutes.
I might be half an hour late, plus I might have to go to a different place and take a taxi and pay $15 to get over to where I'm really going.
I should have left at 7:50, and now it's 8:05.
We got in very on time. I took the 707 and from Peekskill, and I was here okay.
Metro North is blaming the derailment on what it calls a spread rail, a kind of bowing of the tracks. Trains will be back and running with a normal commute that's expected by this evening.
Well, the New York Post was almost derailed by a strike, but once again that feisty tabloid lives. The Post has not been on the newsstand since Monday, when the Newspaper Guild went on strike. But yesterday, a last-minute agreement was reached between prospective owner Rupert Murdoch and the other unions honoring the Guild's picket line. The paper is expected to be published tomorrow without the Newspaper Guild.
And there's much more ahead on Eyewitness News. There's a hint of compromise in Russia. Could an end to that political standoff be in sight? We'll have the story next.
The chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff calls it quits to a 35-year military career.
And the stars come out for a glimpse at the new Nicole Kidman movie, Malice. We'll take you to the premiere a little later on Eyewitness News.
Watch this. Eve met me last week. Now she doesn't remember it at all. Does anything in the studio look familiar to you at all?
No.
She forgets everything after just a few hours. This woman was walking down the street when she forgot who she was. You don't know if you have children?
Don't know a thing. They couldn't tell.
She belongs to somebody. Maybe you have the answer when you can't remember your own life. On the next Open. Today at 4, followed by Eyewitness News right here on Channel 7.
When I first started Champion, my goal was to create a company that I would love to do business with. A company made up of caring men and women who really want to change the mortgage industry for the better. And a company where so many more customers could easily get a second mortgage and at very low rates. I never would have dreamed it possible. But for 3 consecutive years, we've been chosen one of the 500 fastest growing private companies in the country. And when you call 1-800-CHAMPION, I think you'll understand why. When your bank says no, Champion says yes.
Hollywood Pictures presents the most critically acclaimed movie of the year, The Joy Luck Club. Time magazine declares it's enthralling, a typhoon of emotions, a 4-fold turns of endearment. Joel Siegel raves it's an extraordinary film in every way. And Siskel and Ebert give it 2 thumbs up, way up, and call it a powerful drama.
Make me happy.
Don't miss the most talked about, best reviewed movie in America. The Joy Luck Club, rated R. Now playing at a theater near you. Check newspaper for showtimes.
Amidst the political crisis in Russia, there is now talk of compromise. Hardline lawmakers barricaded in the Russian parliament now say they are willing to negotiate with President Boris Yeltsin. Jennifer Glass has the latest from Moscow.
Russian deputies barricaded within the White House for 8 days have agreed to think about an offer by the head of the Russian Orthodox Church to meet with Yeltsin's government on neutral territory. Outside, the military buildup continues. Bulletproof armored personnel carriers were brought into the area overnight. Many of the soldiers themselves told reporters they were only there to keep the peace. They wanted to keep politics out of it. Russians who wanted to get near to the parliament building in order to demonstrate in favor of the deputies inside were blocked by police. After some pushing and shoving, they were turned away. The rebel parliament members have set up a shortwave radio transmitter inside the building. Occasionally calls for help are broadcast. Anyone who wanted to answer would have to get past the thousands of troops stationed outside. A deadline of Monday has been set by the Moscow city government for the parliament members to get out, saying that armed parliament guards who have orders to shoot if militia cross the barricades are a threat to public safety. They have emphasized, though, that even if the deadline passes, troops will not storm the building. Jennifer Glass, ABC News, Moscow.
Parliament leaders say they will give up their weapons if the police remove their blockade around the Parliament building. And just a short time ago, President Boris Yeltsin has agreed to talks with the hardline lawmakers.
Commerce Secretary Ron Brown feels he's being punished by, quote, unfounded accusations, and he's on the defensive. On Capitol Hill yesterday, Brown fought back against charges that he accepted $700,000 from a Vietnamese businessman to lobby to get the U.S. to lift trade embargoes against Vietnam.
Made an allegation is an individual who has never met me, never seen me, never talked to me, never had any contact with me, by his own admission.
At a White House ceremony announcing new strategies to increase American exports, President Clinton gave Brown his full support. Also in Washington, General Colin Powell retires today, ending a distinguished 35-year military career. During his tenure as chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Powell presided over dramatic historical events, including the end of the Cold War and the Gulf War. An official farewell ceremony will be held this afternoon in Washington, and we'll bring you an update on Eyewitness News at 5.
A change in the top for New Jersey Republican gubernatorial hopeful Christy Whitman. Her brother Dan Todd is out as campaign chief in favor of a political veteran. Former Ronald Reagan political advisor Ed Rollins is now taking on day-to-day control of the Whitman campaign. The move comes following recent polls which show Ms. Whitman trailing incumbent Governor Jim Florio by as much as 20 percentage points.
Chance of rain in our skies. Meteorologist Bill Evans is next with the AccuWeather forecast.
And firefighters in California are praying for rain as they battle a forest fire that is threatening celebrity ranches.
And a Vegas slot machine dishes out a big payoff for a retired steelworker. That story when we come back.
On the next Live, Robert Urich talks about his new primetime role opposite Faye Dunaway.
You know, the story has it that Faye Dunaway pursued you relentlessly for this. Something like you and I. I mean, she just...
Plus, a performance by one of the hottest pop stars on the charts, Joshua Caddison.
Paint your pictures about how it's gonna be.
And meet an amazing world champion cyclist who has only one arm and one leg on the next Live.
Tomorrow at 9.
Right here on Channel 7. Blindfold, monsieur?
No.
Cigarette?
No.
What do you want on your tombstone?
Pepperoni and sausage. Tombstone pizza, Pierre!
New Tombstone Original Pizza. Its spirited, zesty sauce gives it that in-your-face Tombstone taste. What do you want on your tombstone?
Napkin? No.
Do you feel guilty when your hair needs a trim or when your teeth need cleaning? Of course not. But if you lose weight and then regain a few pounds, you probably feel guilty and then you eat. At Jenny Craig, you'll learn how to manage your weight as a guilt-free process, much like managing your hair or your smile. We call it personal weight management, and it works.
Join now and lose all the weight you want for just a $129 program fee. Jenny's Cuisine is a required additional purchase. Call now.
Hi, I'm Jim Palmer for The Money Store. Even if your credit is less than perfect, you can still refinance your first mortgage at today's low fixed rates. That's because The Money Store looks at your total credit picture and won't automatically disqualify you for late payments. At The Money Store, you can apply by phone and there's no application fee. So if you want to refinance at today's low rates, even if your credit isn't perfect, call 1-800-LOAN-YES. The Money Store, where America goes for money.
Your back works hard all day. At night, you need the Sealy Posturepedic Sense and Respond support system. Its patented coils give easily at first for comfort. Then, as weight increases, it responds with increasing support, correct support. And only Sealy's Steel Span Foundation has steel beams, not wood. Posturepedic support, only from Sealy.
For nationwide delivery of Sealy, dial 1-800-POSTURE.
For a fifth day, more than 3,200 firefighters are trying to contain the big fire in Los Padres National Forest in Southern California. That fire has now charred more than 30,000 acres, and crews have still not gained the upper hand. They are hampered by temperatures close to 100 degrees, as well as steep terrain, bees, and rattlesnakes. Officials have warned residents they may have to abandon their homes. The cause of this fire, believed to be a hunter's cigarette.
We've been lucky Yes. They don't have anything like that, considering the dry nature of the season.
They're dangerously dry, and of course that's part of the problem. A hunter's cigarette, of course, is the whole starting of it all. But it's so dry and so hot out there that's why they're having a lot of problems. And there is some drought still in some parts of Southern California. It's dry. We've had cool, wet weather because of high pressure. They've had hot, very dry weather because of high pressure. So today we're seeing a little bit of some sprinkles and some clouds, but things are changing. As a matter of fact, when we look outside, here's what's been going on. You might have needed a jacket, had a little sunshine, getting to work today, making the commute. You probably noticed it is. Been cool today. The winds have been out of the northeast, and we've had cloud cover at times and some sprinkles. And earlier this morning, White Plains reported a thunder shower at 7 o'clock. Well, this hour we don't have any thunder showers, but we do have cool weather and thunder showers, light rain showers in the area. 57 degrees, humidity 60%. This is at Central Park, where the barometer is at 3016 and steady, above 30, which means that there's reasonably strong high pressure in the area, giving us winds that are out of the northeast at 14 miles per hour. That's why it feels a little bit on the chilly side today. No rain in Central Park. However, when we get a look at some satellite pictures, you'll notice that there's really been a big difference in our weather today. The big low that's been in Canada, well, it's fired out what we call a spoke, or a little upper level disturbance across the area today, and that's the cloud cover that we have. And you can see it's working its way slowly into the Atlantic, and at the same time it's providing us with a little bit of some shower activity. Quickly we'll look at the radar and show you. There's light scattered showers here in northern New Jersey, right along the Jersey shore, all the way down to Cape May. There's a few showers, a shower here in Ulster County, now moving into Rockland County. All of this is moving eastward at about 15 miles per hour. So this afternoon, in the next hour or so, don't be surprised to see a shower in the city, in Brooklyn or Queens or out Long Island, as this cloud cover and showers finally makes its way out into the Atlantic. It's actually some moisture from the west in the upper atmosphere riding over that cooler air along the surface. So as the little warmer air overrides the cooler air, we get these little sprinkles in and around the area today that should be gone in a couple of hours. Across the rest of the country, here's what's going on. Virtually nothing. There's a big high-pressure system across the country, and on the backside of that high, that's why it has been so hot out in the west, where all the brush fires have been going on. It's very hot and very dry there, and there were record highs all the way up to Seattle and Portland, Oregon yesterday, where they were up to 89 and 92 degrees. There were record lows overnight in the Great Lakes from this cool air that's just been spilling down across the Great Lakes from this big high-pressure system that is working eastward. And all the precipitation virtually has been right here in the northeast where we are, and some scattered showers right here moving in to the Black Hills of North Dakota. All right, the forecast map for this afternoon. It's going to be a very fall afternoon. We'll begin seeing the sun return. The winds will still be out of the north. It will be cool, but the center of the high will move across tonight. We'll be in the axis when the winds turn calm, and it will get really chilly tonight with clear skies. So expect to find some frost in the area tomorrow. These areas will see frost from Goshen to Sparta. Probably around Trenton we'll get some frost. In central Long Island from eastern Nassau County to western Suffolk County around Bethpage, and in northern Westchester. So bring the pets and plants indoors if you're in those areas. A shower or two still possible today with a clouds and sun mix. Tonight, it will be clear and cold. The clouds will be gone. Freezing mark north and west suburbs tonight. And then tomorrow, a sunny day and nice 64. The exclusive AccuWeather 5-day outlook. The exclusive. There it is. It's so exclusive we can't show it to you. A few sprinkles are possible Saturday night, early into Sunday morning, but Saturday day and Sunday day will be sunny, and temperatures will average about 4 to 5 degrees below normal.
That was a secret.
Only we have it. Nobody else can have it. It's ooh so good.
Thank you.
No secret about Mr. Long's success. Suppose you're in a Las Vegas and the only place you can find a room is at the Excalibur Hotel. So when you drop a few silver dollars in the casino slot machines, well, Robert Long did just that. And the retired steel worker from Michigan and his wife have a nice fat check to show for it. They hit the progressive slot jackpot, $2.29 million. Count them. Mr. Long says they'll do a little bit of traveling, maybe back to Las Vegas. You never know. They've got 3 children and 5 grandchildren to make happy.
A lot of winners in Nashville today.
The Country Music Association awards are out, and guess who knocked out Garth Brooks from the top of the Country Music Hill? That story is next.
These men are leaving their wives.
He leaves me home alone.
But it's not for another woman.
I started working nights so I could play golf during the day.
Have golf, darts, motorcycles, or other hobbies left you out in the cold?
We fight about it constantly.
On the next Les Brown Show, see how you and your spouse can play nicely.
I'll try to cut back.
How to keep your hubby's hobby from hurting your home life. Watch the next Les Brown Show.
Watch the Les Brown Show tomorrow at 10 right here on Channel 7.
Lady Fitness Centers only for women. Invigorating workouts that promote results. Great bargain, only $13.50 a month. Great bargain, only $13.50 a month. Living Well Lady Fitness Centers. Call 1-800-LIVWELL. Final day.
Crisp and clean Poland Spring natural spring water only comes from one source in the wilderness of Maine. So does the following offer. Stay tuned. There's a clean, natural place. A special place deep in the woods of Maine. The source of Poland Spring natural spring water. Crisp and refreshing, it's one of nature's treasures. And it remains unspoiled because thousands of guards protect it.
Poland Spring, what it means to be from Maine.
Now here's the special offer. Call 1-800-759-9389 and get Poland Spring delivered to your home or office. Phone now and receive 2 6-gallon bottles and 1 month's cooler rental free. Enjoy delicious Poland Spring natural spring water delivered right to your door.
A co-star who did not show up at a premiere of a movie leads today's People in the News. One star, Nicole Kidman, was at the Los Angeles opening of the suspense thriller Malice, along with her husband Tom Cruise. Others in the cast were there as well, but for reasons unknown, Alec Baldwin was a no-show. I Still Believe in You. It won the Song of the Year award for Vince Gill last night at the Country Music Association Awards. Gill won or shared 5 awards in all, including Best Album, Top Male Vocalist, and the whopper of them all, Entertainer of the Year. And Jane Alexander's nomination to head the National Endowment for the Arts has been approved by the U.S. Senate. The veteran actress most recently starred on Broadway in the Sisters Rosenzweig.
Here are some of the stories coming up on Eyewitness News at 5. Complete live coverage on the hostage situation at a bank in Park Slope. Also something to take to heart. A new study points to the health benefits of garlic. Dr. Jay Adlersberg explains. And they have no snow, no ice, but they do have a bobsled team. Joel Siegel with a review of the new comedy Cool Runnings, based on the story of the Jamaican bobsled team. All this and much more at 5 on Eyewitness News. Right now, let's take you back to Park Slope. Jay DeDapper has a live update on the hostage situation at a bank there. Jay?
Well, lady, no change at this point. Negotiations are still going on between police and the 4 men holed up inside the Chase Manhattan Bank. It's 1 block down at the corner of Carroll and 7th Avenue here in Park Slope. As you can see, plenty of police presence, the emergency services units, the armed men all in place. There are 3 hostages inside, and they are all bank employees, 1 an armed guard, and the other 2 female bank employees who were arriving at work when the men were already inside. It is a botched bank holdup. It's unclear whether they were inside before any employees arrived or whether they may have forced their way in with the first employees. Negotiations are ongoing. Police negotiators are in contact with the 4 men inside. So far, the situation is calm, according to Police Chief of the Department, David Scott. And as those negotiations go on, the police say time is on their side. We'll have a live update at 5 o'clock. We're live for now in Park Slope. Jay DeDapper, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
And that is our news for now. For Edie Tarbox, Bill Evans, and the entire Eyewitness News team, I'm Tim Fleischer.
There's much more news ahead on Eyewitness News at 5, 6, and 11. And we'll see you again tomorrow at 6. Have a good afternoon.
A year ago, AT&T Special Country Savings was born. Now, to celebrate its first birthday, we're giving you even more savings on international calls. Double the savings on Saturdays in October and November. And not just to 1 or 2 numbers, but to everyone you want to call in the international country of your choice. 30% off with AT&T. Call now to sign up and enjoy a birthday gift from us to your favorite country.
It's Oodles, the adult game where answering the oodles is oodles of fun.
Yeah, like an insect's hairdo starting with B?
Beehive.
Or what about stupid weights with a D?
Dumbbell.
It's Oodles. Look, one player is the MC and asks hilarious riddle-like questions, and your team has to solve them.
Italian window treatment with a V.
Venetian blinds.
So what's the answer to fun?
Starting with O?
Oodles.
The adult game where answering the oodles
is oodles of fun.
As governor, I'm